When is it going to come too late? I mean, so we've got already lined up a storm system come into the west, already lined up the chance for a system to come off the east coast by the middle of next week. So here's what happens. This is the GFS model. This one does have an area of low pressure that comes off the coast here. You know, it's been wavering into exactly its position. The morning or the overnight run is a little bit different than the previous run from last evening. But this one doesn't bring a ton of snowfall into the northeast. Some, as we see the low develop, but it's not a strong low. It's not going to be real heavy. But you look at the European. So let's take a look at that. This one brings the energy across in pieces. And so we see pieces of energy, pieces of lows, and you can see that actually with some Midwest snow. And then we get to our coastal system not until Thursday, and this one farther north, bringing us some snow into New England. Both are kind of sloppy, right? When you take a look at this forecast, I mean, we're a week plus out from this. And so there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to the forecast. Know this, we're going to have energy tracking from the west coast across the east. There's going to be some changes in the forecast many times as we get through each of these different model runs getting into next week. But there's still signs of winter. There's still signs of some form of a storm system tracking into the east. It could be a coastal low that would bring heavier snow. And yes, it happens this late in the season. These are some of our late spring or early spring, I should say, storms that going back into the past couple years all the way into early April,
wow.
Reynolds. So you can see that we still have the chance for rain getting into the weekend. And so even into early next week, we're going to see showers, possible storms, the moisture returning to the entire southeast. Here we go with your Friday forecast. The dew points coming back up, feeling much more like you might expect in the spring instead of all this dry weather. You see it over the weekend actually spread through the southeast. So once you get dew points in the 60s, you notice it. But you know, dew points in the 50s, you're not going to notice that air, but you know, air that gives you a hug, as I like to call it, in the 60s. But it's the kind of air that you'll notice, and that's the kind of air that feeds into thunderstorms here. It lifts a bit easier, so if there's something to make the air rise, you'll see that air shoot up and the clouds start building and forming quite high into the sky. Sunday's forecast shows the red area, and the area for thunderstorms does include again into Arkansas, places like Memphis, Tennessee. We see those thunderstorms continue to spread east by Monday into the rest of the southeast. Not a widespread severe risk, really just a couple of rumbles of thunder and more rain on an area that is so saturated, Reynolds.
Well, that could be quite the story.
Spring on Tuesday. You are ready for spring driving, aren't you? Well, right now at 20 minutes past the hour here on AIM HQ, we still have some winter driving to think about. We're going to look live at I-78 in Newark, New Jersey, I-87 in New York City. So here's a look, all the traffic, no issues weather-wise right now in either of these spots, but look at the temperature, 32 degrees. So look, we didn't get a lot of snow in New York City. We got like an inch or two out of our winter storm Skylar. But in a lot of other spots, we had, you know, feet of snowfall with temperatures right about 32 degrees. That's going to mean black ice for places where water that from melted snow froze. AIM HQ is your travel headquarters, always at 40 minutes past the hour. The Northeast, we got a chilly, still snowy morning, so there could be some delays today, maybe for aircraft. The icing, that's always a departure delay for you. Looking at Syracuse. I looked at your month. You have had snow every single day this month, except March 1st. But every other day we've had something where the planes have had to be lined up here, getting in line to de-ice. That always creates delays. Windsor locks, we're looking at you as well. And, you know, weather-wise, nothing this morning, just a little windy. And the wind always creates some travel delays as well. So Reynolds has a look at some of the larger airports.